Another area of focus for us is the question, how do you figure out which skills are the most important? How do you figure out which skills are the most important in the marketplace? How do you figure out which skills are the most important for the business that you're in? How do you figure out which skills are most important to help people build a career? Now, of course, in the old days, we would do this with something called a competency model. And a group of senior leaders usually would sit down, maybe with some outside consultants as well, and they would examine a huge long list of skills, and from them they would pick a few, and they would say, well, these are they. These are the most important skills. And then some downstream stuff would happen. Of course, everybody measured on the critical skills and then told to shore up their gaps. So the competency approach would lead to some things which were remedial and probably not very helpful. But for us today, the focus isn't so much that, as actually, is there a better way of answering the question, which skills matter most? Put a different way, is there a group of people, in addition maybe to the senior leaders, who would have a sense of which skills are most important at any given time? For us, what we're trying to do is understand how skill importance can be emergent from the behavior of our people. So what are some of the ingredients for that emergent intelligence, if you like? Well, of course, we can look, and we do. We look at resumes in the marketplace. We look at which jobs are being sought after and which skills are contained in those jobs, and we have some AI to help us do that. But we can also look at which skills people are seeking to learn more about on our learning platform. We can look at which skills people have who are moving more quickly across the organization. Any change in the world that has skill as some part of it, in other words, we can look at those, we can aggregate them, we can codify them, and we can begin to answer the question, not what do we think our people should be learning about, but what are our people learning about? Where are they running? Where are they pointing themselves? Where are they investing their time? Because it must be at least partly true that as a skill becomes more important in the world, many people who are engaged in the work know about it before that news maybe gets to corporate HQ. So in thinking about skills, we're trying to think about emergence of skills rather than simply a model decided on high and imposed on everybody else. And another thing that we're looking at that's related is not exactly the question of skills, but the question of work. How do people describe the work that they do? Now, we have lots of data on how people describe work. We collect lots of data on that, anonymize it, and then we can begin to study it. And one of the things that we're finding is that work and skills aren't the same thing. If you look at how people describe the work that they do every day, or in fact, if you look at how people describe what they see as mastery in other people in their network, and then you compare those descriptions once you've codified them, you compare those to a skills database. In the case of the one that we're using, fewer than 20% of the descriptions actually match any skill in the database. So when we talk about work, we're not really talking about skills, and work is work and skills are an abstraction of work. Where we're going with this is ultimately, if you're trying to navigate a career, you're trying to navigate not through skills, but through work. When we look at our research on what helps build a great career growth is one step removed. Actually, what really matters is work growth. People want to do more work of the sort that energizes them and work that energizes them that has greater impact, which means that over time, I think we'll see a shift away from the language of skills and towards the language of work. It's a very new language for us right now. We don't know how many words it contains, if you like. We don't know how to translate it necessarily. But great curiosity about how we talk about what we do every day and how we can bring intelligence to that and how we can use that intelligence to help people navigate an organization and navigate a career. Curiosity about those things is in the crosshairs for us. Part 8, Chapter 7. Subparagraph 6. Subbullet 5. Clause 3.